Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? I hope this finds you well. I hope the weather's nice where you are. We're getting a monsoon here where I live tonight in Indiana, and 65-mile-an-hour wind's going to try to blow me all the way over to Matt's house in Pennsylvania.
You're welcome here anytime, Brenda.
Matt may wake up in the morning and I'm sitting there waiting for breakfast. That's like,
I like eggs. I got lots of eggs here.
Get out here and rattle the pots and pans.
Oh, God.
Our road trip's going to be so much fun.
No.
For those of you that don't know, Matt and I planned this road trip where we're going to go out to California and we're going to go in an old pickup truck that's got a camper on the back of it. I'm taking both my dogs and my bird with me. I don't know what he's bringing. But
just me. I don't want to subject any other living creatures to this monstrosity of a trip.
He's bringing the cameras so that he can film the whole thing. And we're going to have ball tires on that truck now because you can't have good tread if you're going all the way to California. We're going out there for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yes. The Grilled Cheese Sandwich Festival in Sacramento. 21 and over. They don't let kids in. So come on. Come on.
Because kids can't take the grilled cheese.
Well, there's other things happening there besides the food.
We need to plan this a trip out west. I'm going to say Montana, but I could be wrong. I'd have to look it up again to see what state it's in. But they have the Testicle Festival there.
Oh, my.
And we need to go there and take that in.
Boombala, boombala.
I've always wanted to go. I remember one time I was sitting at a courthouse doing my job back when I was working, and how them girls in the recorder's office, they'll all just get to talking about things. One of them was going on vacation, and she says, I don't know where we should go. We got this vacation time planned, but we don't know where to go. And so different ones throwing out different ideas that all sounded pretty boring to me. And I said, well, you ought to go to the Testicle Festival. And she thought I was making it up. And I said, well, you got a computer right there in front of you. I said, look it up. And she looked it up. She couldn't believe it.
Oh, good stuff.
Well, it sounds like a good time to me. I mean, go out there and
your
see what's going on.
coworkers have to learn to never question you.
That's right. When I put it out there, there it is.
Whoop, there it is. Testicle Festival.
It was better than any of the ideas that the rest of them had come up with.
What goes on? Is there a lot of turning your head and coughing? I mean,
well, I guess they have dishes, made from the product, and they have T-shirts and they have different events and stuff, and
Rocky Mountain oysters and things like that.
Yeah.
No thanks.
So I think it would be better than going on a boring vacation.
Well,
there'd never be a dull moment.
Well, that's your homework. You figure that out and then present it to me, and I'll say no.
Let's see. We got Steve is out there with Harneal Media, and Jim Shears is out there, and let's see.
Rich Vibes.
Oh, okay, good. Glad to see him in the chat. Hello, Rich. Good to see you. Everybody share this out. Let's get some folks in here. If we can get a bunch of folks in here, we'll have a draw or a giveaway after a bit. I got some stuff to give away. We try to do that every week if we can get some folks in the house. I sent out all the notices, but today was kind of a pretty day, so they may still be out enjoying the decent weather if they've got any.
I was taking the garbage to the curb in this weather. So does that count?
Well, it's rained off and on here today, but I mean, just drizzly rain. Nothing hateful, but they say it's going to get bad tonight. So I'm glad that I'm not going to be out in it.
Well, it'll make the grass grow. We have a few patches where the grass is starting to push itself up. Gonna have to fire that mower up here soon.
Well, my daffodils are starting to bloom.
Mm-hmm.
And the squirrels got the tulips, they always do. They eat the heads right off of them. So all you have is sticks sticking up out of the ground. And
is there any nutritional value in that? I wouldn't think so.
I think it's aggravation. I think they just look for a way to aggravate the tar out of me. And, they better hope that I don't come up with a little bit of money, because I'm going to get me some traps. And I'm going to go trapping them. I've had enough. I've tried everything in the world to run them off, and they keep coming. I mean, there's just more of them. If you even catch them and haul them off, I did that for several years I lived here. I'd catch them in traps, haul them off, 30, 40 miles away. And there'll just be a bunch more move in and take their spot. So, that don't do no good. So I'm going to have to go trapping and get them out of here that way. Hate to use lethal force, but I've tried everything else. They're going to have to go.
Did you watch the Mark Rober video where he set up the squirrel obstacle course?
No.
Oh, it was hilarious. The only way to get to the prize, which was almonds and everything else that they love, was to hop from pedestal to pedestal around this Iron Man obstacle course with weaving in and out of things that can push you off and spring-loaded ejector panels and things like that. And yeah, smart. Squirrels are wicked smart.
Yeah.
And they figured it out right away.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And they even did like a slow-mo where it was tumbling in the air, how it looks at where it wants to go, and then it orients its head, and that while its body is all wiggling around from flipping, it keeps its head, and then eventually it normalizes, and then it can land properly in just like a split second. It's like built in, where it doesn't just keep looking. It finds where it's gonna go, and it's like, wow, these animals are a lot more than you'd think. You think they're just like little rodents, just pests, which in many ways they are, but they're wicked smart. Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can get them drunk.
Well, who knows? Hey, Niantic River Woodcrafting with Chris Nealon is here. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Good to see you.
Oh, look, he gave the Vulcan salute. I like that. So does my friend Al.
Welcome. Share this thing out. Let's get some folks in the house. I don't know where everybody's at tonight. They've gone out and enjoyed the good weather, or maybe they're picnicking or something before the rain hits.
Yeah, maybe. I'll be going out Sunday, like actually going to do something for fun out of the house on purpose, not just going to the store to buy food. Yeah, here.
I haven't got anything planned to leave here, except running errands, ever. Until things calm down, change up, I'm just going to stay here forever.
Well, I mean,
my rear end will probably grow fast to a chair or the couch or something.
more power to you. But someone said, hey, Matt, you want to go to this event? I got an extra ticket. I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. Let's do it. And then baseball will be starting up in middle of May something. Anyway, so on the island here, close to my home, 5 miles from my house, is a AA baseball field, and that's a lot of fun. Looking forward to that.
Jim's going to go see his new grandson this weekend.
Oh, I have a grand dog. My son and girlfriend got a puppy, and she is so sweet. Only the only emotion she has is love. Like, she comes up, she licks you, she lets you pet her. She's curious. She's not mean to the other dog. I mean, I'm like, this is the perfect dog. It's the perfect dog. She's super soft. It's like super. It's not like real coarse or anything. I love her to death.
My dogs think they're the perfect dog. I got news for them. There's room for improvement.
Oh my. Well, those Australian shepherds, my sister-in-law has an Australian shepherd, and She is just a sweetheart. Now she's kind of high strung.
Yeah.
But she is very, very sweet. Yeah.
I mean, they're good dogs. Don't get me wrong. But there's room for improvement.
Poor puppy.
The dreaming in the middle of the night with the howling thing, they could get rid of that. I mean, I realize they don't even know that they're doing it because they are sound asleep. You know, they'll snore and then they'll howl and.
Oh, well, she's supposed to be 11 pounds, but she's more like 18. My Shih Tzu. She snores like a chainsaw. Sometimes it wakes me from a dead sleep. That's how loud it is. I'm like, how can something so small make something so loud?
Well, I got news for you. They ain't got nothing on a bulldog. Because I raised bulldogs, 30 years or something. I used to show them.
Stinky and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're like a little person in a fur coat is what they really are like. But they will run you out of a room.
I can believe it. You talked about that before. Chris Nealon says, you want high strung? I have 2 schnauzers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And chihuahuas. I hear chihuahuas are mean.
Well, they can be. They can be. I had a great aunt and uncle that had 3 or 4 of them when I was a little girl. And I just always steered clear of them. You know, because after going over to their house and trying to make friends with these dogs and finding out that they weren't interested in being friends with me. You know,
they had their own agenda.
Yeah, they had their own agenda and it just wasn't going to happen. Then I just tried to steer clear of them and was never, attached to chihuahuas after that. That was enough for me. But everybody has their own, favorite breeds of dogs. I've got several favorite breeds. I can't say, there's just one because everyone has their own personality, and then every dog in that breed will also have its own personality too. You have some that are standoffish and some that want to be friendly and some that ain't got brain one in their head that just kind of bounce off the walls.
Jim Bashir says, I have a Chi, C-H-I. Is that how that's pronounced? I have a Chi behind me. What an obnoxious waste of oxygen, Jim says.
Chihuahua.
Oh, a Chihuahua. Okay. I gotcha. Love Audio Production is here. Hi, that's my friend Paul Weber. Hi, Paul.
Hello, Paul. Good to see you. Glad to meet you. Welcome to the crazy house.
Paul is tearing it up. He teaches beginners the fundamentals of audio production. And he does voice work for audio books. They hire him to speak the audio book and does all kinds of stuff, commercials, on hold music, and on hold, thank you for calling XYZ company for the directory press. Like someone has to do that. He does it. So it's cool.
Believe it or not, back, when in my secretarial days, they always liked to have me working the phones because I had a really good phone voice when I answered the phones.
Got it.
And you wouldn't know it now after years of my old gravelly voice and all that. But yeah, when I was younger, I had a good phone voice for answering the telephones.
My wife's father always had a young sounding voice. I mean, he was almost 80 and he just sounded like a younger man all his life. Is really cool. Dave Hart Actualized is here. Hi, Dave. Acousticized.
There you go.
Well, I'm having trouble with my eyeballs too. I'm getting them checked in a week.
Speaking of eyeballs, last Friday I went to the eye doctor. Which, geez.
Did they switch you out on what they were giving you? I think that was the last I heard.
Yeah. He decided that it's not an infection, that it is some kind of a, what the heck do you call it? Allergy. And so he put me on different eye drops. And by Saturday, my eyes were about swole shut. I was on Russ's show Saturday night, but my eyes looked like I'd been on a 3-day drunk. And they're better today, but they're still, it's still foggy because of all of the discharge in the eyes and all that I'm going through, but they're not itching as bad as they were.
That's good.
And
Mel Mel's here. Hi, Mel Mel.
hey, Mel Mel, good to see you.
So the itching went down. That's good.
The itching's gone down. The schmutzing is still going on, but hey, I'll take what little I can get. But it makes reading kind of rough because of, all the discharge in the eyes and you can't see real good. But, it is what it is. So I'll just keep messing with it. But he said, if it doesn't get better, then he's going to have to send me to see a specialist, which would be pricey, which, I can't afford to do. So I guess, it's learn to live with it kind of thing. And at least the medication is over the counter. I don't have to go to a place to get prescriptions filled now. And I'll just keep taking the drops and see if, maybe as summer comes on and maybe if I can get out, in the garden and get some sunshine on me.
If it's an allergy, maybe it'll pass as the seasons come in and out.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If I can get out in the fresh air and get away from, because it has to be something in this house that's setting it off. Because I'm rarely out of this house. And so I'm thinking, get out in the garden, get out where there's fresh air. I sat out on the patio the other night for a little while because it was in the 60s and pleasant. There wasn't no breeze blowing or nothing. So I sat out there for a while. It seemed to help a little bit. And I thought, I think if I can get outside in some decent weather, that it might improve this for a while. And then, as spring and summer come on and warms up, I'll get to cleaning this house real good and scrub everything down. And maybe next winter it won't be as hard on me as what it is this winter. But I've never had an allergy to anything in my life except anchovies.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because if I eat anchovies, I get hives. Huh. So that's the only thing I've ever found that I've had an allergy to.
Mel Mel says, good to be seen, and I am here for more cowbell.
Oh, he wants more cowbell. Well, Lord have mercy. We're all about more cowbell.
That one had some ring hang time to it before. Wow.
There'll be a new Heifer Haven go up tonight or early in the morning whenever I get it around to putting it up.
I love me some Heifer Haven. Drop a like
likes that one.
On this video if you like Heifer Haven.
Dave says Brenda needs a prescription, and the prescription is more cowbell.
Yes. Is that the rim shot? I think that was the rim shot.
Yep, that was the rim shot.
Oh, dinner's ready for Love Audio Production. All right. Enjoy your dinner, Paul. Drop a like if you haven't already.
Have some for me too.
I'll be right over. Catch a plane to England.
I'm still trying to get all the fallout from the steroids out of my system. So I was thinking today what I'll probably do now is just kind of take it easy, let all this get through my system, and then Easter Sunday I will have a steak. Because I enjoy my steaks on the holidays and special occasions. And, Easter is a holiday. So I'll have my steak. And then on the Monday after Easter, I will go back full tilt to what I was doing before and see if I can't peel some more of this weight off. So got about a week and a half. I mean, I'm not doing anything really, crazy right now. I'm trying to eat reasonable and stay away from things that are bad for me, but I retain so much water from them steroids, trying to get all that flushed
really
out.
mess up things for short term,
Yeah, the eye doctor wanted to argue that with me when I was in there because I told him, I said, hey, you messed up. I don't want to call it a diet, but it was kind of a diet, and I'd lost a bunch of weight with them steroids. And he said, well, how do you think that bothered you? I said, well, it made me retain a bunch of water and it increased my appetite. Anytime you get steroids in your system, it does that. And he's, there wasn't enough in that to bother you. And I'm thinking, well, they quite obviously, by the look on the scales, it certainly did.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Because I wasn't doing anything different except them eye drops. So, yeah, it was enough.
my diet has my weight going down slowly. I lose about a pound every 3 days.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fast or what, but it's starting to come off.
Well, that's reasonable. That's reasonable.
I want the face to get thinner.
Well, you can have all your back molars pulled and do that.
Oh, well, no. No. I need to start, working the upper body a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a weight set from Amazon and then start doing a few things because from the waist down, I'm on the treadmill. I'm good. I can walk like nobody's business. But,
well, you better get started working out now, and get yourself ready for Festivus.
Yeah.
Because Evan's got plans for you.
Every year that goes on, he's going to be a harder and harder opponent because that boy's getting big. He is.
And you're getting older.
True. My son's 21 years old.
Yeah.
He's not a little. Now's the point where photos are starting to come up from 10 years ago because I started Facebook in 2009. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, he's 10 years old. He's 10 years younger in this photo. I felt, photos of him being 11 and being 10 and being 12. I'm like, oh, that's right. We did this and we did that.
Yeah, the two I raised are 45 now.
Man.
I'm like,
Brenda,
I can't be that old. And when I was at the IDARS, you would have laughed. They needed a camera on me for this one because I wasn't expecting this. But, I was telling him, I said, this is affecting my eyesight now a little bit because the lines, when I'm trying to read, kind of double up on each other. And I said, it's difficult to read when you're looking at that and not used to looking at that.
Do they double this way or do they double that way?
Up and down.
Up and down?
Yeah, up and down.
That's
they just kind
of
of
direction for them to go.
Overlap each other. And he says, what you need to do is go over there to the pharmacy and get you a set of readers. And I'm just kind of looking at him because I've heard this. I hear it at least once a week from somebody somewhere. And so I'm just kind of looking at him and he says, if for no other reason, because of your birth date. And then I know I shot him a look. And I said, listen to me. I collect birthdays. And he said, well, it's a nice thing to collect, but you still need some readers.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Brenda. Jeez. I'm telling you, I'm gonna launch that Kickstarter to hire a full-time camera crew just to follow you around. It'll be internet gold, I tell you. See, look, Rich Vibes. Don't tempt me, Rich Vibes. He says in the chat, new channel looming, awesome pumped things. When people suggest new channels for me to launch, I actually launch them. So just be careful. Be careful. Well, someone asked me how to make a new channel, like a branded channel, because they had their first name, last name. I'm like, oh, I'll show you. And this was on All Things YouTube, my Monday show at 7 p.m. Eastern on All Things YouTube. And I was like, you do this, you do this, you do this. And by the time I was done showing them, I have a new channel. So if you, it's called Awesome Money Things. If you search Awesome Money Things on YouTube, you'll have to target by channel, because if you just search, it's, there's nothing on the channel so far, but it's there.
Well, speaking of Awesome Money Things, you need to have your Powerball ticket.
What's it up to now?
I think pot is like $230 million. But if you're going to take cash out and, they're going to take taxes and everything out of that, it's still like 62 point something million.
My number to jump in is usually around 350 million.
They never get that high. That's why you never play.
Yeah, I like it. I like it more than 200 million.
Yeah, but if just think what you could do with 62 point whatever million.
And just think of how hard it is to hit that. You can't get hit by lightning twice.
You think it would be easier to hit it if you wait till it gets higher?
Well,
Lord have mercy.
No, it doesn't have to do with making the percentage that you'll hit it easier. It's just, is the risk worth the payout?
Yep.
Well, that's the individualized thing you figure out.
Yep. It's worth it. Because somebody's got to hit. Eventually, somebody will hit it.
And when I play, I like to play more than one ticket. So that gets expensive. You're dropping 3 tickets. That's $9. And you can go on and on and on until it gets up to another 100 million. You can drop many series of $9, and then the next thing you know, you're out 100, you're out 200, you're out. I mean, it's.
Well, you don't think about what you've lost. You think about what you can gain.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you blow money on stuff every day.
That's true. Mr. Doughboy 356 is here. Hi, Mr. Doughboy.
Hey, Mr. Doughboy, good to see you. Be sure and share this out. Anybody that ain't shared it out, share it out. Let's get some folks in the house.
Speaking of new videos, I'm going to have a new video probably tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
It's going to be on this very inexpensive voice changer. And the video's actually hilarious.
This is the voice changer. Can you hear a funny voice now?
So I wanted a way to change the voice on live streams, because changing voice for edited videos is easy peasy, but for live streams, it's tricky. You need a piece of hardware. So I got that.
We needed one of them back in the day before there was caller ID.
Right. Is your refrigerator running?
Yeah, when we was making our phone calls, on the rotary dial phone. I get tickled at some of these videos you watch. It's got these kids trying to figure out how to use rotary dial phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, is that funny? Like, is it really funny? I mean,
it is to me.
Well, how would they know? That's just it. I mean, it would be one thing if they were supposed to know and they didn't, but they're not.
I mean, they can use all this technological stuff, technical, computerized everything under the sun stuff, but they can't figure out a rotary phone.
There was a documentary on the number pad of the phone with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there was a whole book of different proposals with the pros and cons of the layout of that. Because, like, why is it 3, 3, 3? 3 digits, 3 digits, 3 digits. Why is it laid out in that grid? And why is the one on the bottom? People belabored that point when they were figuring that out, and it went on for a long time until they settled on it. It's crazy.
Probably in Washington D.C. they was debating on that.
It wasn't a government thing; it was an industry thing. But
they was trying out for Congress.
There were some other good ideas that hit the cutting room floor.
They were trying out for Congress and Senate. Is what it was. Trying to prove their worthiness.
Get me started.
Oh, mercy. Say, what type of steak do you eat, Brenda? I love T-bones. I'll eat any kind of steak.
Who asked you that?
Mel.
I didn't see that comment. Oh, there it is. Mel. I see it now. Okay.
But yeah, I love my T-bones. And they're getting harder and harder to find anymore. But we got a nice meat market here in town. And every once in a while, they have a sale on them. So I try to go up and get a couple when they have them on sale and put them in the freezer. And that way I've got my steaks for, I like them at Christmas and New Year's and Easter and maybe 4th of July, depending, on what's going on. And my birthday, just things like that I like to have my T-bone steaks.
See, now T-bone is one side is New York and the other side is filet.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to get either one of those is my go-to choice.
Well, I like them. I like the T-bone because the bone has all the flavor. And yeah, there's some good eating there.
Yep.
Dogs won't even get the bone from me.
and that filet part, that's the part of the cow where there's no workload on that part of the cow. So it's not like a bicep or a tricep that's always that's not like the beast of burden part of that. I mean, it just hangs out there and becomes delicious as they grow because it doesn't do anything except acquire deliciousness. Hey, Jim Dockrell's here. Hi, Jim.
Good to see you. He's my brother from another mother. Have you got that all ironed out up there now? You got your schedule made out for the midget wrestling in the Jello baptismal pool?
All the way from the Great White North in his palatial estate with the baptismal pool and the silver pole for dancing.
Yep.
We'll just leave it at that.
He said that he was getting it so he could rent out rooms now. So
nice.
He's setting her all up. I want to see some video of the entertainment because he got that stage all set up in there.
I'll bring my keyboard over. I'll lay down some tunes.
Jim Bashir says the mud pit's giving him problems.
Oh no. Oh, Rich Vibes going to bed. It's very late in the UK. Bye, Rich. Have a good night.
Bye, Rich. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you being here.
Sweet dreams. He's going to be dreaming of like DJ equipment because that's what he does. He spins the tunes. Oh, Jim Dockrell says got our first booking for a month so far. Booking what? Renting out the room? You mean?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh.
How much you renting out that baptismal pool for?
We could have a lot of fun in that big central church area. Big open room with a stage. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We could put a hurting.
I think he needs to set something up there for like a woodworking show. Of course, it'd have to be after, the quarantine, all that, is lifted so that people can cross the border now. But, he needs to get figuring out what he can do for some kind of a woodworking show and who all, what what would you call it? Vendors, I guess, for lack of a better word for it, that would come up and, partake and.
Yeah, he gets sponsors. He can get, table saw companies and drill companies. Yeah.
And we just had a big party up at Jim's house.
Hey, Jimbo's here. Hi, Jimbo.
Hey, Jimbo. Good to see you.
Oh, he's working on a project for Saturday night. All right.
Yep. In case nobody knows, there's on Simply Wooden Creations, if you send pictures of your project to contest@simplywoodencreations.com, Russell will feature it on his show Saturday night and enter you in a contest.
Nice.
I don't have any projects going on right now, but plenty of other folks will be able to enter it.
I wanted to show you this.
Gotta focus. There we go. You got it.
Got my dragon eye pendant. Thank you, Brenda.
Hanging on your ear.
There you go. All right, ladies, don't all throw yourself at me.
You are protected by the dragon eye. Speaking of dragon eye, let's see. I think it's probably about time for us to have a drawing, ain't it? Or a giveaway.
Drawing, sure.
What is it? Jim says, I don't have the skills, personality, or desire to have a TV type show. Well, it don't have to be a TV type show. You just get you some sponsors in there to show off their products like what they used to do down in Atlanta. And then you just put the word out that, hey, you're having a big hoo-hoo over at your house and you got some rooms to rent if somebody wants to spend the night, and just rent out them rooms and have a big weekend 2-3 day blowout, and we'll all come up there and party, and I'll bring my dogs and my bird with me.
Easy peasy. See, Brenda's got the business savvy. Right there's the plan. She laid it all out for you.
So you want to get people there, you got to have something there that they want to come for.
Chris is saying his project is a shop remodel and he's 12 months in.
I'd just like to have shop.
Oh, I'll be in my shop this weekend. So,
If I hit the lottery, I'll have me a shop.
yeehaw.
A lot of things I have that I don't have now if I can hit that lottery.
Sure.
Well, okay. If we're going to do a giveaway, let's do it. Go ahead and give the spiel.
Okay, people. Now is the time you want to make sure you're not behind time on the live show. So drag that playhead all the way to the right because we're all going to do something at the exact same time. Brenda has written down a number. And if you guess that number, after she says go, don't guess yet. If you guess the number, you'll win a prize. She has one of 4 prizes you can win. She'll announce the prizes after we pick the winner. She'll ship anywhere in the lower 48 states for free. If you're outside of the lower 48 states, you can opt to pay for shipping. Or if you'd rather re-gift the item to someone else, you can do that if you're outside of the United States. The number that she wrote down will be the word of the number. She's not going to write digit. She's going to write it out in words. And she gets kind of funky and crazy with the capitalization. So as a bonus prize, you can guess another digit on your same turn of how many characters are capitalized in the word that she wrote down. And you can only guess once. So don't guess a number and then guess another number. You only guess once. And whoever gets the number exactly right first in the chat wins. And Brenda will say, pick a number between X and Y. So what's the range we have for today, Brenda?
31 and 39.
Can't type. 31 and 39. And okay, let me know when you're ready.
Go.
All right, folks, pick a number between 31 and 39. Only guess once. You can put a slash and then guess on your same guess the number of capital letters. So it would be like 70's too high, Jim. Numbers are coming in. This is for a free prize that she'll mail to you. Between 31 and 39. We need some music.
Ain't got no winner yet.
No winner yet. Want to go around again?
I guess we need to.
All right. Second guess is open. Don't pick 35, 36, 33. It'll be between 31 and 39.
Nope, I'm not changing the number.
Now the number's written down. She can't change it, Chris.
Been hermetically sealed on Funk and Wagnall's porch since 8 o'clock this morning.
Okay, got a couple more guesses. Oh, let's see, 2 people guessed the same thing. That's I wish it was absolute real time, but there's a little bit of a lag.
Got a winner.
Winner. Chicken
Chris
dinner.
Nealon.
Chris Nealon, congratulations. 4 is the number of capital letters. You missed the bonus by 1, Chris, but congratulations, you won the prize.
31-4.
Excellent. All right, Brenda,
All right.
What prizes do we have for Chris?
Well, let's see here.
That he can pick one of. You pick one of these 4 prizes.
Pick one of the 4. We'll start off with another dragon eye pendant that I painted. There it is.
Right.
It's kind of a green. It's not showing up as pretty on the screen is what it is. But there's the dragon eye pendant. And Matt's showing the one that he won from last week. But there's the dragon eye. Now, I've got 2 of these bracelets. You pick which one you want. I've got one that's bigger than the other. The smaller one would fit like a child's wrist, and then the larger one for man's wrist. So you pick whether you want a large or small. And then our other winner on the box from a couple weeks ago turned out to be in England and didn't want to pay the shipping. So we still have this box that I decorated the top on. And it is a nice little box, and I put felt on the inside of it, so it's suitable for jewelry and stuff. And the decorations, they're the two birds and the heart that's on the front of the box, are made with the sawdusto from Shelley Cole's recipe.
Nice.
So we've got the sawdusto embellished box. And then I also have, I don't know if you fish or not, Chris, but I've also got a fishing rod, brand new fishing rod. And let's see, I guess I turn it the other way so it can be read, huh? But it's an eagle. If I can get this fast acting red eagle.
Good deal. Now Chris says he sold on the dragon's eye.
Okay.
If you want the fishing pole, you can change your mind. Otherwise, you can have the dragon's eye. And thank you, Brenda. Brenda funds all of the shipping through the super chats on the channel. So all 100% of super chats goes to help fund these contests.
Okay.
And you'll have to give Brenda your mailing address, Chris.
Yeah, through the
$4.99 super chat. Thank you.
Woohoo! Thank you very much.
Oh, where's my super chat lights?
Dancing,
slow on the
dancing,
draw.
dancing.
Here we go.
Where's our cha-chinger? What'd you do with the cha-chinger?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, here we go. I gotta move over to that panel.
You got so many panels you can't keep track of them all.
All right, here we go.
Cha-ching!
Hey,
I'll
I got
even
an
give him a
extra
cowbell.
bank. My system must have updated itself. I have more slots for more sounds now. Go figure.
Thanks, Chris. But
These optional super chats help. I mean,
yeah, give me your mailing address there on Messenger, and I will take it to the post office tomorrow afternoon when I go out, and we'll get that out to you. Because the monsoon's supposed to end in the morning, and so things should dry up a little bit in the afternoon, and I'll be able to get out of here without getting blown all over creation. It's not as bad with the little car as it was with the van, because you get in that van, even though it wasn't a high top, it was high enough, and big strong winds hit you and blow you all over the road.
Oh, Jimbo's got to go. Good night.
Good night, Jimbo. Good to see you. Take care of things in Florida. Is construction material expensive up there, Jim? It's crap here. Yeah, it's talking
crazy
about
here. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about how expensive wood is.
$8 2x4s. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's going to get worse.
It's like trees are still growing.
Yeah, but it's not. It's being shipped in. A lot of it's being shipped in, and since it's being shipped in, there ain't nobody to unload the ships that's bringing it in. So all this stuff's sitting offshore, and then the Suez Canal got blocked the other day, so nothing can get in down there.
The Panama Canal, or
yeah, Panama, the canal.
Gotcha.
I ain't good with geography.
That thing was crazy.
So yeah,
they had these big stones that the indigenous people put there as to connect the two oceans, and then that they use that as a guide as to where to actually build the canal. And malaria was running rampant. Like all the workers would try and get to the other side, and they would not make it, and they had to pump in new workers. It was this crazy. Anyway,
yeah,
I like these big engineering projects, learning about them. It's just nuts.
Oh, Steve said it was the Suez Canal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good. And the Texas winter disaster that shut down the state, that's impacting silicone for conductor, for computer chips. That's why Apple is not having its event this month. They always have a late March event. It's going to be in April because they can't. It's backed up. I mean, that was weeks and weeks and weeks ago. But there's a ripple effect Where
Well, what did it do? Frost the silicone trees so that they wouldn't produce any more silicone, or what the hell happened there?
it's a little more simple that people couldn't go to work because
Oh, okay.
the
All
state was crippled.
right. All right.
And they had no electricity.
Yeah. Well, they had no electricity. They had no heat. They had no lights. They had not much of anything. The food ran out. And it was extremely hard on the livestock and the animals down there because they're just not used to the cold whatsoever, and don't have barns built to house them and all that.
The big disaster was pipes burst because they're not used to having freezing temperatures.
Yeah, they don't bury theirs 32 inches and lower.
Yeah,
than what we do up here.
So people evacuated. Then their pipes broke while they weren't home, and they come back and there's water everywhere.
Well, see, this is how we learn that, okay, if this kind of temperature is coming, before we leave, we turn off the main and drain the pipes. But they're not used to, preparing for this kind of foolishness. So, but this is how we learn. Stuff happens to us and then we learn.
Well, also their electric grid is self-contained. Like they don't play nice with other states. So I know. Don't read, Jim. And Dave Hartz.
Your audience understands you. Oh my goodness.
Note to self, don't be a co-host for Brenda and have unexpected surgery. It's not going to go well.
Well, be careful what you say to me. Here's what it is.
I've never been anything but an angel to you.
Because you said, don't tell anybody. Don't tell them why. I didn't. I made up something else.
Oh.
It's your fault.
I know that now.
And this is how we learn.
Oh, hey, we have AB's Kitchen Recipes and Vlogs here. Hello.
Welcome.
Nice to be on your live. Great discussion. Well, we're glad you're here.
Being silly and talking about how people learn things.
How Brenda abuses me. She's mentally abusing me.
Oh, no. I help people learn. I give them free advice. I never said be good. And I teach them things, whether they want to be taught or not. I got several guys who won't let their wives talk to me.
Oh, my.
I mean, Nancy Clarity, I've been wanting to talk to her, and Russ won't let her talk to me. And
jeez. Russ Meadows is here. Hi, Russ.
Hey, Russ. Good to see you. Lord have mercy, I ain't seen you in forever. You're a sight for sore eyes, and I mean it.
That's a term of endearment from Brenda.
I've got an allergy in my eyes, so when I say you're a sight for sore eyes, I really mean it. Can't make this stuff up. Oh, he said he misses the old gang. Hey, we're still around. Pointed on the top. We're in shape. Round's a shape, right? Of course, there's less of me than there used to be because I've lost so much weight. I'm having to tie my britches on now, keep them from falling off. So I think,
oh my goodness,
I think I've been losing some weight. I don't think it's just I'm stretching out of shape. Sore sight for eyes. Oh my goodness! I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to the warm weather and the springtime coming. There's going to be a lot of work to do. I'm going to turn Tony loose with a lot of it out in the yard, though, because I'm going to redo the front yard again. And I've kind of lined him out what I want done, but I think I'm going to have to get him over here probably right after Easter. Let's get through the holiday.
You have a lot of tan bark out there now, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm going to be planting grass on the majority of that out there because mulch has just gotten too expensive.
Oh, wow. Well, that's came full circle.
So I'm like, no, we can't do that. Well, it was $600 last year.
Mm.
And I'm like, This last year I'm paying that kind of money. We can put some grass seed down and run a mower over top of it.
Yeah.
But I got to move a bunch of flowers before I can do that. So we got to dig up the daffodils, move them. I think I'm going to leave the peony bushes where they are if Tony can avoid running over them with the mower, because I don't want to get them mowed over. And then I can just mulch the flower beds if I even do that. But I think it would look better if I put some mulch around in the flower beds, and that won't cost that much. But I got a bunch of big shrubs, magnolias that need to be trimmed back. So I'm going to have him do that. And I've got some gooseberry bushes I'm going to have taken out. And there's some holes that I got a digger dog. She doesn't have any reason to do it. She just likes to do it. And so she digs holes in the yard. So I got some holes that will need to be filled in for Digger the dog.
Dave Hart Acousticize put a comment that I think is pretty interesting. He says, did you see that Pepsi is coming out with a cola with added marshmallow peep flavor?
Yes.
That's nuts.
I'd like to try it. Just one can. That's it. Just try it. Because I love Peeps.
Well, Peeps are pure sugar.
Yeah.
And so is Pepsi. So is it sugar on sugar?
Well, you know, like I say, just one can, because I'm trying to stay off of sugar. But since this is something new, you know, and I love Peeps, I would like to try it. Or, you know, somebody else buy a can of it and just give me, you know, a small glass or something.
Dave says, wonder if it tastes better stale than fresh. Oh, no.
Well, I don't know that I'd call him that, considering that, you know, he is a married man, and, you know, I don't cross those kind of lines. But yeah, he's my maintenance feller that comes and does maintenance around here for me. I've still got to get him to fix that gutter on the side of the garage out there that's coming loose. And I don't know, there's probably half a dozen other chores out there and stuff that I can get him to do. But I got the grass seed, and he's going to have to go get the straw because I can't haul it in my beetle.
Right.
So we'll get the grass seed down, get some straw over top of it, and see if we can't get some grass growing out on it again. Well, that could be, but I don't cross those kind of lines. I mean, you know, Matt's my co-host on the show. I'm old enough to almost be his mama. A lot of people don't believe that, but hey, it's true. The two that I raised are just 5 years younger than Matt.
Oh, I'm getting old, folks. OLD.
Well,
I was eating dinner and I was like having trouble swallowing, and Tracy's like, "You're getting old." Yeah, tell me something else I don't already know.
They can stretch your esophagus, you know.
Oh, I don't need that.
I've known several people that have had that done. They have trouble swallowing, and so they go in, and it's a procedure that they do where they stretch your esophagus so you
seem healthy.
Swallow.
Not healthy at all.
Well, the alternative is not being able to swallow and starve to death. I mean,
as long as I don't shovel it in, then it doesn't happen. So just got to go at a normal pace. That's all.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to watch the Heifer Haven that I put up next. And
oh, no.
It'll give you some free advice.
I could use free advice. Free I can afford.
That's right. You probably have nerve damage from neck surgery like me, Matt. No, wait. Never had neck surgery.
I had cancer ripped off my neck. Does that count?
No.
I never had throat surgery.
When they generally, now this isn't always true, but generally if they're going to work on your neck, they go in from the front, which means they got to go past your your throat and all that to get back here to work on whatever it is that they're working on. And
Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes.
I've been fortunate enough that I've never had to have any kind of back surgery or anything. But my late husband, you know, he was the same height as Jim Shears, and he had lots and lots of back surgeries. They went in to repair a what do you call it, blown disc in your back, a couple of them that he had, and then they had to go back in and fuse them, and then they had to go back in and remove scar tissue, and then I don't know, 3 or 4 more times for removing scar tissue and fixing this, that, or the other thing, and you know, he almost had to have a door put up there at the hospital, revolving door with his name on it. He said, "There's doggone much with all those back surgeries."
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he said, yes, they pulled the windpipe to one side. Luana's in the house.
Hi,
She says,
Luana.
the Labrador Retriever has been on the AKC's top 10 most popular breeds list for 25 consecutive years, longer than any other breed. And I can believe that. Labradors are good dogs. I used to have Labradors, raise them, along with Bulldogs and Australian Shepherds. And I loved my Labradors when I was teaching the dog obedience classes. I could go into a dog obedience class to teach on the first day. The first thing I did is I'd scope the room to see who had a lab. And then I'd ask them, can I borrow your dog? You know, and they'd look at me like, you got to be out of your mind, but okay. You know, I can't get the thing to do anything. Good luck to you. And so I take the dog out in the middle of the room, you know, and I'd start giving it commands, and the dog would be listening to everything I told it to do, would do everything I said do.
You're the dog whisperer.
And the people would look at me in the class and say, you've worked with that dog before, haven't you? I'd look at the owner. I'd say, have I ever seen this dog before? And they'd say, no. And I said, that's how simple it is. I said, now I've done it. Now it's your turn. And but yeah,
My dog
Labradors
has
are
an
very
attitude
smart.
and is untrainable.
No, they're all trainable. Everyone's trainable. You just have to know how to do it. You have to learn how to speak dog.
Yeah.
When the first dog obedience class I ever took, before I ever started teaching, this was back when I was new and green and, you know, didn't know what I was doing. I went to dog obedience class and I took my Bulldog. And he was trained for conformation, which, you know, they walk down, they walk back, you know, and then don't do anything in particular. The judge looks them over and shapes them up, you know, goes over them to make sure that they're in the right shape and size and everything for the breed. Well, he'd never had any obedience training before. So I thought, well, we're going to take him in for some obedience training. We're going to start, you know, getting this dog so that he'll sit and lay down and, you know, do things he's supposed to do. So I go into class and she takes one look at this dog and looks at me and she says, you're just a fool for punishment. And I just looked at her and she says, you'll never train him. She says, Bulldogs are untrainable. They're stubborn. She says, but you're welcome to stay. So she went over everything on the syllabus that we were going to learn during her 8-week class, and she gave us a copy of the syllabus to take home. I went home and went to work with that dog. The next week, I showed up 45 minutes early for class. And it was an outdoor class where we were having the lessons. And so I'm out there in the great outdoors with my dog. And I started out with a 25-foot lunge line where I would walk off and, you know, put him in a sit and I'd walk off and leave him at 25 foot. And then I could give him any command I wanted to give him. Tell him to lay down, tell him to come to me, you know, whatever I told the dog to do, and he'd do it.
Wow.
She pulls up
In
about
1 week.
About 25 minutes before class, and I'm out there working with the dog, and I went over, I took the lunge line off. I'm doing off lead work without any verbal commands, all on hand signals, everything I tell the dog to do. She couldn't believe it.
You're the dog whisperer.
But I had worked all week with that dog. I mean, we'd probably put in about 10 hours every day.
Wow.
Not all at one time, spacing it out, but yeah. But I taught that dog off-lead work in a week.
Mm.
The dog, she said, was untrainable.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
You just have to learn how to talk their language and get them to do what you want them to do. Rin Tin Tin, famous German Shepherd, was nominated for an Academy Award. Jim Dogger says, my dog listens when I talk to her, looks at me like I'm nuts, but she sits and listens. Mine know what I'm telling them. It took them a while to figure it out, but mine know what I'm telling them when I tell them something. It's usually to shut up or lay down or... They don't know their names, though. One of them's name is Scarlet and the other one's named Shadow, but they think their names are Damn It and Jesus Christ.
I don't doubt it.
Brenda the dog whisperer. Well, I'm not so quiet about it.
Poor dog. 10 hours of training a day for 7 days.
Yep.
Poor puppy.
Yep. He was a great dog. I will never have another dog like that again as long as I live, because he was wonderful. Everything you tell him to do. And he got so good with the confirmation training that you just walk in the ring and it was like this beam came up over top of him, because he knew why he was there. He knew what was expected of him. He knew all the moves that he was supposed to make. He could just turn on the charm. The judges just fell over top of him. He won the last show that I showed him at was to finish him for his championship, 4-point major he took that day. There was a class of 15 dogs.
Wow.
And I mean, he just went in and turned it on. It's like, he'd look around at the other dogs like, I don't know why you all bothered to show up, but thanks for coming. Oh, he was great.
Good doggy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Luann says, I got an octopus on my shoulder. Yeah, and there's my octopus. He's on my microphone. That's where he is.
Run around here somewhere.
New item for the resume, dog whisperer.
No, that's not an octopus. This is a dinosaur.
Russ has a pattern for one that he's making on his 3D printer that is articulated like these octopuses are.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet.
He made it real thin, though, the one that he made, and then when it moves, but it won't stand up because he made it too thin. So he made a little base that he put its feet on and glued its feet to so he can get it to stand up. And so I asked him, I said, well, now, Russ, that's real nice. I said, if I lose enough weight to where I can't stand up, you going to make one of the bases to glue my feet to?
Oh, no. Dave says he got bit on his route and had to get first round of rabies shots. 35K?
Wow.
10 shots at 3,500 each. Oh, wow.
Is that covered by workman's comp since it was on the job?
I don't know. Well, if you have insurance, you met your deductible.
I would think it would be workman's comp because he got bit on the job.
Oh, my gosh.
I was bit by a dog when I was a little girl. Neighbor's dog. I was riding my bicycle down past their house and it come out and grabbed my ankle. Me riding my bike. Bit the far out of me.
Paper route when I was younger, and the dogs just would go nuts. So all my life, I've sort of stayed away and wasn't really, I just did, but I fell in love with the dog that we have, and now I'm starting to understand more about the different breeds. But for the longest time, I was like, yeah, just not interested. Oh yeah, that's a dog. That's another dog. Like I wouldn't know that this is one particular dog or another, because they were relentless. They hear you coming 3 houses away, and they just do not quiet down. Some of them.
Well, I was a farm kid, so we always had a dog growing up. You know, there was always a dog around. But I was probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, and we was at the post office one day, and a guy was in there that had a bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with that bulldog, and I always swore eventually I would own a bulldog. And so when my husband and I got married, you know, I told him, I said, I've always wanted a bulldog. And he says, well, I'll tell you what. He says, when we get a house that has a fenced yard, you can get a bulldog. But what he didn't understand at the time was that I'm a farm girl, and we don't stop at one. So before he knew it, I had 15 bulldogs.
Whoa. That's a lot of bulldogs.
But I was showing them and raising bulldogs, you know, and it was my thing. That's what I did. And he looked around and noticed that they were different colors. So there must be more than one.
Smart husband you had there.
And he started counting, and he couldn't believe it. He said, you're going to get us thrown out of here, because we lived in town. And I said, well, I'm showing them. I mean, you know, this is my thing. I'm raising bulldogs. And believe me, raising bulldogs is not easy, because you have to go through artificial inseminations, and you have to go through C-sections, and they're a man-made breed, and there's a lot of health problems and a lot of issues with bulldogs, and I wouldn't recommend them for just anybody. You know, it has to be somebody that's really dedicated to own a bulldog. But that very first one that I ever had, his name was Spike, and he was the dog. I had other nice ones, you know, other ones that I loved a whole lot, but he was the dog. I've even out in my curio cabinet, I've got a Wheaties box encased in plastic that has his picture on the front of it, where it says Breakfast of Champions.
Oh, that's nice. Oh.
Dogs' eyes have a part called the tapetum lucidum, if I'm saying that right, allowing night vision.
Yeah, they can see into different parts of the spectrum than we can.
Louanna's laughing about Spike. She says, that's so Brenda. Yeah, he was a Spike the bulldog too. Great big old head, little tiny rump.
Brenda, I might have to jump off here soon. We're having an emergency in the house. So
Oh, well,
plumbing.
in that case, we'll just say goodnight to everybody and let you deal with your little issue.
Yeah, clogged pipe.
Uh-oh.
Nothing we can do about it, because there's just not enough slope in the floor underneath the floor.
Well, you just have to take out that pipe and put in a sloped one, and
there's nowhere else to slope it. It's sloped. I mean, I don't know. It's just something we deal with from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the kind of toilet paper that, well, we used to have the premium toilet paper, which doesn't disintegrate. It could sit in water for 10 weeks and it's still toilet paper. And then we're like, okay, well, let's downgrade just one notch, because I don't like crap toilet. I'm not on this earth to deal with horrible toilet paper. So we're down one notch, and then this stuff, it's made for septic tanks. Not that we have one, but it's just, in other words, you put this in the water long enough and it just disintegrates.
Biodegradable.
So then we started getting whole clogs, and it would just unleash. Like 4 hours later, it would just go by itself.
Are you sure you don't have roots in the system someplace?
Thankfully, the issue is only on the upstairs. Like the downstairs plumbing's fine, because it clogs before it can go down.
Oh.
So it's not.
Have you had Roto-Rooter or anybody come out and check it and see if there's something in there?
Well, we're going to have to call them, because the last couple times you just wait. Like you can plunge till you're blue in the face, doesn't do anything, but just time. It just needs time to just disintegrate the toilet paper. But it's been like this all day long, and we got to get it taken care of.
It sounds like somebody's dropped something at one time down the toilet that's lodged in there. And Roto-Rooter will come out with their, I don't know
No.
what they call that thing, but their cutter tool.
Big snake. Well, what they'll do is they'll take the toilet out and they'll put the snake down through and they'll punch it out.
But they have one that's got cutter blades, and it would go down through there, and it would cut out any plastic and anything that's lodged in there. I know you don't have any little kids at your house, so the chances are it's probably not somebody's little toy, Tonka toy or something. But we a place my dad used to own and rent out, he had some kids in there, and they were famous for putting little plastic toys down the toilet and clogging it up.
No, we don't have that problem.
And so I'm thinking, okay, somebody at one time has probably dropped something down in there that's lodged.
The way they do it is they have an external water tank outside, and the hose is like 200 feet long, and it'll have high pressure on it. And this thing has a camera facing forward and 4 jets going backwards. And the idea is the jets will propel it into the clog until it breaks it loose. And then they'll slide that thing all the way down till it leaves the house. Inside, doing that high pressure spray behind, and it cleans. But again, I haven't needed it because just time was the thing that needed to disintegrate the clog. But it's not happening this time.
Yep.
And Tracy, we have some appointments tomorrow and some medical stuff we have to deal with. We're like, we need showers.
Ooh, I see Roto-Rooter in his future.
And it's always $300 to get them to come out and punch this out. But
yeah. Well, they got to make money too.
Yeah, I know. It's called yeah.
We'll just go ahead and shut her down. Thank everybody for coming. It's good to see everybody. We will be back here next Thursday. Lord willing, creeks don't rise and the toilet don't overflow. And Matt will have his All Things YouTube show on Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And as far as I know, Russell's going to have a show on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, Simply Wooden Creations. And I will put up a Heifer Haven tonight. So, with all that being said, we'll say goodnight to everybody. And Dave, I'll get this out to you tomorrow afternoon if I get your address, and, we'll go that direction. So good night, everybody.
Good night.